Welcome back to Wookies on X-Wing. I'm Jon.
And I'm Matt.
And today we have another game from the Atlantic Canada Regionals for 2016, hosted by MetaGameZ and ran by yours truly.
Yeah, so this is the second game of round one. And we've got two new players, both new to Wookies and Fredericton. So we've got Mathieu with reprising Countess Ryad. She has the TIE 7 title, the Twin Ion Engine Mark II upgrade, and Push the Limit. Got Omega Leader TIE with Juke and a stealth device and a comms relay for that nice focus or evade retention. And TIE Advanced Prototype, the Inquisitor himself, Push the Limit, Proton rockets, and the TIE V1 title.
We also have a very interesting list all the way from Montreal. We have Peter Lavoie Massico, and he is flying two K-Wings. We have Esege Tuketu, or Tunuk, and he is flying with the twin laser turret, extra munitions, eating up his torpedo slot, C-3PO as a crewman, a Connernet, and proton bombs, with the advanced slam modification only as necessary for something like a K-Wing. We have a second K-Wing with Miranda Doni, with the twin laser turrets, extra munitions, Sabine Wren as her crewman. So this is a premiere showing on Wookies on X-Wing of what Sabine can do. Also with proton bombs, also Connernet, and advanced slam.
So two heavy bombers versus an Aces type list here. So let's see how this turns out. I'm really excited to see this, actually.
Yes, very much so. We are both big fans of the K-Wing, despite the fact that it's a very ugly fighter or ship. I guess it's really big to be just a fighter. It is definitely a bomber. And you really get to see in this game what that kind of bombing style will be. We don't get to see a lot of bombs on Wookiees on X-Wing because they're very tricky to play, and they require a lot of skill to master. So I'm very interested to see how if Peter is able to master the bomb usage.
Yeah, when I saw Peter's list here, I couldn't believe my eyes. 1 K-Wing in a regionals, that impressed me to begin with, but 2 as your sole fleet. All right, I gotta see this. And then just completely loaded down with bombs here. This is going to be an interesting flight.
So for those of you who don't know, Sabine Wren is a crewman that comes in the Ghost and is very important when it comes to a bomber-style fighter. So Sabine Wren's ability reads as your upgrade bar gains the bomb upgrade icon, on top of which, once per round, before a friendly bomb token is removed, choose one enemy ship at range 1 of that token. That ship suffers 1 damage. So a lot of versatility with her, on top of which she gives a bomb token to pretty much any ship that she's on. So if you want to really go crazy and put her on a B-Wing, and then eat a torpedo slot for extra munitions, you can do that. Or you can put her on a K-Wing, or whatever else rebel ship that you fancy.
Yeah, it's neat. It's a really neat crewman, and I'm always happy to see ordnance. So we'll see if this basically super heavy fighters can deal with the really nimble aces that Mathieu's bringing here.
Well, they also have the twin laser turrets, which is a nice little safety net.
Definitely.
And because the K-Wing has a turret natively, it doesn't even have to worry about fighters getting within range 1 of it.
No, and the really interesting thing with the K-Wing is you look at its dial, and it's decent if, not entirely spectacular. But as soon as you throw advanced slam in there, and that ship quickly becomes one of the fastest ships on the table.
So a lot of people might not be familiar with the K-Wing, so what does the slam do?
Well, the advanced slam, or the slam action, it lets you immediately perform any maneuver of the same speed as the one you just performed when you revealed your dial. With the advanced slam modification, so after you perform a slam action, as long as you didn't overlap an obstacle or another ship, stuff that would prevent you from doing actions, you can perform a free action. So you basically get a free move.
So it works really nicely with a bomber style, and it's right out of classic video games. I believe this was in the X-Wing video game or the TIE Fighter video game, where you had the advanced slam come into fold, and here you have the K-Wing make use of that ability. So that's really cool. As you mentioned before, the dial has a lot to be a lot to be wanted for, but it does have a very nice dial when you consider that it has no stressful maneuvers, no red maneuvers, and it has a pretty good couple of green maneuvers. All of its ones, so one bank and one forward, is green, and its two forward is green, and it's still capable of doing two hard turns, two banks, and three banks, three forward. So you can have a lot of versatility, especially when you are doing a slam maneuver.
For sure. The only downside to the slam is when you perform the slam action, you basically turn off your attacks for a round. You cannot attack for an entire round.
So it's a get the hell out of dodge.
And it, the really nice thing with the Connor net, you slam past someone, and then the Connor net takes an action to deploy. So you can just bunny hop them, dump a Connor net on them, and hey, you have, 1 to 2 points of free damage, as well as some really nice board control that you get from that net. It's pretty mean.
So it looks like we got a couple of big rocks, a couple of small rocks here, and for the most part, Mathieu is keeping his fighters together. Looks like ever since the game had started, there's been a little bit of zigzagging in order to keep them relatively slow to see what these K-Wings are doing. And we saw a little bit of that in the last game of the Aces really wanting to see what the opponent's doing and then react to that. And we obviously seeing the same thing with Mathieu here, doing that, where he is analyzing his opponent's attack pattern and then going in and taking advantage of the position that is open to him.
Yeah, this is one fleet you really, really don't want to rashly commit into. It's one thing to, take some speculative passes at, for example, a TIE Swarm from last week. You might wing a TIE or two off the edges. If you don't commit enough into this type of K-Wing fleet, you're just going to get blown out of the sky. And not necessarily by guns either.
Yeah, and all it takes to remove the Inquisitor off the map is a well-placed Proton bomb with a lucky crit. But a well-placed Proton bomb will completely eliminate the Inquisitor because he falls under the same weakness as an A-Wing. He only has two hull. Yeah.
An A-Wing or a Phantom, anything like that, yep. And Mathieu here is using the new damage deck, so he does have all those direct hits, but he also has those cascading crits.
Yes.
So you get a major explosion or direct hit, and good night Inquisitor, he's gone.
I think the real star player here is going to be, the Inquisitor is going to be pretty much a star player because of auto thrusters. He can stay at range 3, not really have to worry too much about bombs with his excellent dial and his push the limit maneuver action economy, but he has to get behind them and he has to get into a place where he's happy to sit.
Yeah, and unfortunately with this type of K-Wing loadout, being behind them is a scary place to be.
Yeah, you have to be far enough behind, but you also have to stay close enough so that a slam won't put you out of range. So there's going to be a lot of psychological warfare going on here and trying to figure out exactly what position you want to be in.
Oh, for sure. And both of Peter's K-Wings here are, Miranda is reasonably durable and by herself, especially with the twin laser turret. She can pull one of those attack dice off either attack to regain a shield. So she's going to be sticking around for quite a while. And Tuketu, he's got 3PO. So he does only have the one evade dice, which makes it a relatively easy guess. Like, I guess 0. Well, I'm going to get 1 no matter what I get, so who cares?
Well, the important thing to note about Tuketu is that he's not just a goon. He's not just a K-Wing goon. And he can pull a lot of the same tricks. Well, not exactly the same tricks, but he has a lot of the same synergy that we're now used to seeing with the Dengaroo list, where he can do an action, such as a focus, and wait for Miranda to pile on the damage with her extra ability with using the twin laser turret, generate an extra attack dice, and then use Tuketu's focus for both of those attacks. Now, you're not getting the extra attack dice on both of the firing from the twin laser turret just because of how it works, but you have a lot of flexibility there.
And here we go. So Ryad, she is pushed right up. She's focused, she is pushed to evade, and has a target lock from, looks like that target lock maybe belonged to Peter here, but she is pretty far up there.
And it looks like Tuketu is going in, all guns blazing.
Yeah. Peter deciding, do you want to slam past and dump a Connor net, or do you just blast away with... Well, at that point, it's probably just his regular turret.
It's kind of tricky to tell because of where the Inquisitor is, but given what the Inquisitor can do, I think it actually might be in the best interest for Peter. Just because, okay, the Inquisitor doesn't care if you're within range 1 or range 3, but at the same time, well, you want to get your shots.
Yeah, for sure. You really, really want to, get as much damage out and as quickly and consistently as possible. And here we have, so this Peter will be advanced slamming here. And trying to blast past and unlike, a boost or a barrel roll, because the slam is you perform a maneuver, you can slam over ships.
Or slam off the board.
Yeah, there is absolutely nothing preventing that. And so there is that very, very handy, oh, I can't fire this turn token.
But you can still drop a bomb. It didn't look
Certainly
like
can. He did. Well, so he just dumps the Connor net, wings the Countess with it, puts 2 ion tokens on her, and with the Connor net, it's put in play touching a base, so it just detonates automatically.
And then on top of that, did he use Sabine? Sabine's not on Tuketu.
No,
sorry.
Not yet. So the Countess is... Well, she is suddenly very predictable next turn. She can only do the 1 white forward maneuver. And here we have the Inquisitor. Nice, easy bank up. A very safe maneuver from the Inquisitor. Not quite sure where Tuketu was going to end up. And here he is. He's pushing. Gets his evade from a target lock. Gets his focus. And he is ready to lay a kicking into Tuketu.
Yes. Omega Leader looks like he's really far out.
He's a little out of position here. Little bit of a straggler. But perhaps that could pay off. Just gets him in a nice position to easily intercept Miranda here.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens with him. And Miranda also in a very nice spot. She should be in range to just start getting twin laser turret shots out. Takes a focus.
I think it's really important for Peter to focus on the one target that he's already picked, which is Countess Ryad. It's a fairly maneuverable part, and it's one of those things that can really cause a lot of trouble for Peter.
Definitely, yeah. So there is the Inquisitor, blowing his target lock. There will be 3PO used here. There's no other shots at Tuketu, so likely a guess of 0 to ensure that result of 1. Tuketu taking 2 damage. But with just the amount of damage points the K-Wing has, it's not that terrible a thing.
No, it's a very, very durable fighter.
It is. And so there's the Countess. She completely mitigates the first twin laser shot, but this is the second and 3 potentials. So let's see what she gets. Well, it'll take her entire token load, but she takes no damage from that one as well. Which makes firing back at Miranda slightly less accurate. So no damage done to Ryad, but not a lost turn. And that focus would have come in handy there.
Countess Ryad's in a very, very bad spot to get a proton bomb next turn.
Oh yes. Ryad, well, perhaps, because they do only, you have to place the bomb first, and they only affect you within range 1. But not this turn here, but definitely the next turn, it could be scary.
Well, that's as far as Ryad's getting pushed out.
She could get slammed and netted again, or Tuketu will likely drop his bomb.
Yeah, because it's when you reveal your dial.
Yeah. So yes, the Countess is definitely taking a crit this turn, and the Inquisitor, well, depending how close he decides to chase Tuketu, he may as well. He may also take a crit.
Now, it's important to note that Sabine Wren's ability just says that when you remove a friendly bomb token. So her ability actually might affect Tuketu as well. Now, whether or not Peter knows that is yet to be seen, but I'm pretty sure that that's how it's going to be taken place in this game.
Yeah. Yeah, it's choose one enemy ship at range 1 of the token. So this is,
It is very the synergy is real.
yeah, it's quite nice.
So we have the Inquisitor going into basically where Ryad was, chasing down Tuketu, little close to comfort to that proton bomb.
Yeah, so he is going to be boosting. And we'll see if he can barrel roll. Boosting that way, he should be able to barrel roll out of the blast range.
He should, yes. Not that way, because
Oh,
you'll
he
hit
might.
a rock.
That's going to be a close one. Oh, and he will... Yes, he will sneak it in,
Oh, wow.
I think. Oh, let's make sure we don't move the rock. Yes, and he does land the barrel roll.
That's impressive.
Very nice positioning.
It did force the Inquisitor to go completely out of position, but that's...
Nope, the heck out of
Yeah,
there.
no kidding.
And Ryad is in a... Well, she's not in a very good spot with at least in terms of Miranda either here.
So we have a target. It looks like a target lock is finally acquired on this K-Wing for Omega Leader. That is going to put that K-Wing in a bit of a difficult spot when dealing with Omega Leader.
So that lovely 2-hard turn the K-Wing has. Now, let's see if Peter decides to counternet in front of the Countess to block her off. Or, I don't know exactly what's going to happen with that. It's definitely a compelling choice either way. You could drop the net to really, really limit the Countess's maneuvers. Or do you focus for... I'll say focus for attack, but apparently just doesn't want to deal with Omega Leader or the Countess shooting at her, so...
Yeah, try not to get that many shots. And the Omega Leader, if it wants to give chase to Miranda Doni, is going to be in a very difficult spot. Because it gives him the potential to drop a bomb next round, and Omega Leader becomes extremely predictable with that rock there. Though, what's the beautiful thing with the TIE FO, it does have the S loop, the 2S loop. So if he feels that there might be a bomb right where he's going to be going, he can choose to signal loop the S loop the other way. Oh my goodness.
So Peter does trigger Miranda's here. So that blows a shield off of the Countess, and the crit is a direct hit. And we have the only shot coming from Tuketu, and he puts her in the grave.
That is brutal.
Yeah, so that the 1 point of damage he needed after removing her shields, and yeah, that was rough.
I have not seen
That was
a defender go down to K-Wings ever, really.
Yeah,
But never quite like that either.
that was a very efficient way of dealing with the defender.
Bombs for days.
Yeah, and as we see, just the sheer speed that the K-Wing's capable of, doing a 3 maneuver, or slamming into another 3 maneuver, and just whipping that ship around the edge of the board there.
While the Inquisitor is really great at that one turn, that's really not going to get him where he needs to go in order to deal with this TIE Inquisitor. Or sorry, with this K-Wing.
With this K-Wing, not yet. Does put him on some nice potential vectors, and let's see. We'll have to see what Miranda's going to be doing this turn. I am very curious if she's going to, again, drop a bomb to basically provide a threat and hope that that Omega Leader hasn't gone too fast, or if Peter's assumed that, yeah, Omega Leader's probably banking left here, going to go around that asteroid, not getting anywhere near the back.
So here we have it. I think this is going to be a 2S loop. Oh no, just a complete disengage.
Yeah, that's
It's not a bad play.
no, it's definitely not something you don't really want to be behind a K-wing when you're stressed. Any kind of predictable maneuvers will get you a proton bomb in the face.
Yeah, and the other thing is, if he had been predictable, it wouldn't really have mattered because Miranda has the pilot skill advantage there. So Miranda can see where this TIE FO is, where Omega Leader is, then decide whether or not they're going to drop a proton bomb in its face.
Yeah.
But you didn't need to use the bomb, so didn't need to use the bomb.
Not at all, and we should have so
just a
no
slam.
shots. Yep, just a very nice. Hey, Tuketu, I'm coming, Miranda. Wait for me.
Trying to get back in formation, it looks like.
Yeah. Well, you definitely do not want to have isolated ships versus an Imperial Aces style list. You don't want to have something going solo against the Inquisitor, and with Omega Leader's abilities of preventing modifications, you also really don't want that either.
Yeah, the Inquisitor can basically just stay in range 3 if given the opportunity, and plink away. He counts as being within range 1. You have ranked 3 shots against him. His auto thrusters are proccing, just virtue of the turret anyway. But
Yeah. Looks like he was out of range that turn, though, so no shots from the Inquisitor into Tuketu yet.
get some nice hard one or sharp turn from Omega Leader.
Yeah, and looks like Mathieu's also trying to regain his formation and really is likely going to be trying to jump one of these K-Wings. But I say one of the downsides to Peter's list here is he's in the lead right now. If he loses a K-Wing, though, that will shift because that K-Wing is literally half his fleet.
Oh, yes.
So he has to be very careful with how he's playing. If he can kill another of Mathieu's aces, he should be pretty good, and he can afford to lose a K-Wing.
Yeah.
It'd still be a close one, but he really wants to kill another ace to really solidify his lead here. We have Miranda coming up, turning into the asteroid belt here. Looks like she's wants to gun for another pass into Mathieu's fleet.
And due to the slam, completely unable to make any shots. All right, looks like Tuketu is going a little slow this round.
Yep.
This is going to give the Inquisitor some opportunity for some shots, but it gives him an opportunity to fire back, and it might be the bait that Miranda needs in order to deal with these fighters.
Yeah. You've got to be... we keep saying it. You have to be really careful tailing a K-Wing. Well, a bomb-laden K-Wing. And so the Inquisitor just actioning himself right up. Omega Leader, very nice turn. Manages to stop short of the Inquisitor.
No bumping. And what I love about the Omega Leader with the comm relay is that you get that evade token on you, and you're pretty much holding on to it for most of the game. When you need it, you need it, but for the most part, it just adds to that action economy.
Absolutely. All right, and here we have Miranda. Nice, easy bank up. Taking a focus, we should see... Well, by virtue of the Inquisitor being the closest, I would imagine that he will be Peter's next target here.
Complete reroll.
Yeah. Two potentials, so not bad. And a possibly a 3PO use there. Wouldn't have been a bad idea just to guarantee one mitigation. You still do have a focus, and if Omega Leader wants to shoot you, that is a range 3 shot. That is Omega shooting Miranda. She cannot modify, so it takes a couple points. We have our twin laser turret.
Now, will he use less dice in order to regain some of the shields that Miranda has lost?
Looks like the first attack he will, so 2 dice as opposed to 3. Now this, I wouldn't really say this is worth focusing. This is 2 versus 3. You should save that for the second shot. And the Inquisitor gets his evades. And unfortunately, unable to use it, but it's a nice insurance to have.
And with tokens, the attack is completely negated.
However, we do have Tuketu firing back. And now the Inquisitor will have his auto thrusters proccing here. That's nice, 3 potentials.
Very solid hit.
That's a little dangerous, and that's a point of damage.
Only 1 shield left on the Inquisitor. Doesn't take much to get those shields down, and don't take much to completely eliminate him after that.
Not at all. Well, the Inquisitor is now not in considerable danger of being proton bombed. All he needs to do is pull that direct hit, and the Inquisitor is gone.
Oh, yes.
Or any of them, really.
That's the beauty of Sabine Wren on a bomber, anywhere in the bomber list.
Yeah. Or just, he has to be careful. He can get shot. And he's turning in towards Miranda.
Very interesting play here.
I like it. It's a nice... He's shielded from Tuketu by the asteroid. And he may have just blocked where Miranda's going to land. That K-Wing really won't have many open spaces between those asteroids other than where the Inquisitor is.
Well, the K-Wing just doesn't have the maneuver dial in order to deal with a block like that, too.
No, it has no 4 maneuvers. Nothing faster than a 3. Which makes sense considering the slam action. That would be a little bonkers.
Yeah.
And that's a very nice blocking setup. And the 2 Signer loop from Omega Leader here. It looks like Mathieu has elected to ignore Tuketu for now. And there we have it. So Miranda will end up impacting the Inquisitor. Very likely. Just want to ensure that.
So just seeing exactly where Miranda's going to go.
So she's not getting shot by the Inquisitor, which is nice. That's definitely a blessing. But she is within range 1 of Omega Leader here. Let's see.
Depending on what the Inquisitor does next round, it could be very, very bad for him if he decides to try to slow play Miranda.
Oh, yes. The Inquisitor is going to have to be very, very careful of a proton bomb. And so looks like Sabine opted to take 1 less primary attack dice. And regain a shield. Or Miranda, sorry. Miranda, 1 less attack dice to regain a shield. And the Omega Leader appears to be out of arc, so no shot from him. The Inquisitor also had no shot on Tuketu. However, Tuketu is going to try to force a twin laser turret hit through. With the asteroid and all those tokens, it's extraordinarily unlikely.
What's interesting about that Omega Leader, and I think both of us missed that originally, is that Omega Leader did an S loop.
No, he did. See, he had an S loop, and he's also got a stealth device, so he's natively has 4.
That's just dirty.
That is obnoxious.
So dirty. I love it.
Yeah. So I thought that Tuketu was shooting at the Inquisitor through the asteroid, but it actually looked like he was trying to get that evade token off of Omega Leader.
Well, getting rid of that evade token means that he has to perform an evade action again in order to benefit from juke. And once that evade token is spent, then they have to think about target lock. So putting him further back along the action economy train is not necessarily a bad idea.
Yeah.
Now,
This
Inquisitor needs to motor.
he needs to boost, he needs to barrel, he needs to get out of the blast zone. Because if he stays there, he is getting bombed. No question about it.
Okay, and that's the right choice.
That's a boost. He should be clear of the explosion.
Yeah,
but it's
I'm pretty sure he is at this point.
yeah.
Definitely locking the Inquisitor's dial for next round, though it's pretty much given that the Inquisitor is going to be doing a 1 hard next turn anyway.
Yeah. That ship just it loves that maneuver. And I mean there's not really a whole lot of reason not to use it if you can.
All right.
So here we have Miranda.
Pretty good spot.
Very wisely opting not to drop a bomb. I spoke to Peter about his list. He's played this list a lot, and he's developed quite a good eye for bomb radius.
Okay.
And he would have been able... I would have assumed he'd be able to tell that, no, I'm not going to hit the Inquisitor. I imagine if he even thought there was a chance of it, he would have dropped a bomb to try to wing him off.
Yeah. A squadron like this, you need to practice a lot. You need to know exactly how and when to drop your bombs. And it makes absolute sense because it's a very, very finesse-based list.
And there is Miranda. So Tuketu is way out of attack range. Miranda is taking 1 less attack from her first turret, and she has managed to recover herself.
She's looking pretty good.
Yeah, that is a very hard ship to put down, especially when you give it a few turns to really do its own thing.
Two potentials from Tuketu into the Inquisitor. However, tokens and auto thrusters.
Yeah, so you got the 1 evade and the blank, so auto thrusters into 2. And, well, he literally cannot take damage from 1 potential with auto thrusters and focus.
Yeah.
So no damage that turn. However, that wasn't entirely unexpected. These are both of Mathieu's ships are really, really difficult to hit now.
Especially with twin laser turrets, and that's really funny because the twin laser turrets are supposed to be the like Daka guns.
Yeah.
Enough firepower, eventually a shot will land, and it's just not doing it here because of how evasive and naturally defensive these ships are.
And so the Inquisitor boosting up into attack range of Tuketu. And pushing to shift his lock onto his new target here. And it looks like Mathieu has largely accepted that, yeah, I'm probably not killing Miranda anytime soon. Let's focus on the pilot. I have a lot better chance of hurting.
And that being said, Peter's taking that to his advantage and moving in Miranda Doni to deal with the Inquisitor.
Yeah, it's nice, very nice cross the T here.
If a solid joust really would put the Inquisitor in a bad spot to eat a bomb.
Oh yes, absolutely. He's going to, in the next couple turns, he's going to have to be very, very careful with how he plays.
Looks like 2 potentials from the Inquisitor into Tuketu, a blank.
Yeah, so there is 3PO used to, well, mitigate down to 1. And we have, this is going to be Miranda firing back. Accepting no potential hits there. And 1 possibility into the Inquisitor. Now we should have an auto thruster trigger and just evade it anyway.
That's what the beautiful thing about auto thrusters is, a 2-point upgrade or modification that you'll always want to put on a ship that can take it.
Yeah. And so, again, auto thrusters stopping the first hit, and oh, this is a little more dangerous.
3 potentials. However, looks like with auto thrusters and the token,
Yep.
completely negate the hit.
Some nice rolling on, some nice rolls on Mathieu's part here. Unfortunate attack rolls on Peter's part, but the Inquisitor is going to have to be very careful with how he flies now.
Oh yes. Here we have some zoom action with Tuketu, and it looks like he's actually placed them on different heights.
Yep, he has different length stems on it.
Very smart for just this reason.
It doesn't quite bump into Miranda, which is nice, and well, ends up in almost a joust with Omega Leader. Though it would be to Peter's benefit here to just continue to focus fire on the Inquisitor.
And I think that's exactly what he's going to do. Omega Leader is such a pain in the butt to deal with his pilot ability and juke and all of those groovy things. Mm-hmm. It's just an absolute pain.
Oh, for sure. And the Inquisitor moving up.
I'm very interested to see what Miranda's going to do just because of where the Inquisitor is now.
And so she is going to... Alright, so she is moving up a 2-bank. Now we shall see if she's going to try to slam over the Inquisitor and dump a net or a bomb at him.
Okay.
Or dump a net at him to really lock him in for the next turn.
That could do some tremendous damage.
Yeah, well, it's
with
Sabine, that's 2 points.
2 points, ionize, and no actions next turn. That would kill the Inquisitor. Easy.
Yeah, and you still have Tuketu being able to shoot. Yes, the Inquisitor will have all his tokens, but all I need to do is get one through. You know, your other option being you sit there and possibly take a 4 attack, focus or target lock, and take a 4 attack dice primary weapon into the front of the Inquisitor.
That's true too.
We haven't really seen Peter use the flip side of Miranda's ability of taking damage to increase her attack power. It looks like she is taking a target lock there. And we shall see, so Mathieu keeping his eye on the prize. He is still gunning for Tuketu. And that is a hit and a crit. So not ideal. And oh, that's a loose stabilizer.
That is unfortunate.
That is awkward.
Very awkward on a K-Wing. Doesn't have a lot of green maneuvers, as we mentioned earlier on in the video. Well, all of the really good maneuvers for the K-Wing are white.
It really slows it up. And there we saw Juke, the 1 evade that Tuketu rolled, and Omega Leader having the target lock on Tuketu. He can't modify that.
So exactly what you said. Lost a shield.
Miranda just unloading full bore into the front of the Inquisitor.
And then using Tuketu's focus in order to focus her result up.
Mm-hmm. So 3 potentials. And takes his entire token load to do it, unfortunately. But no damage. And so now we have Tuketu using his twin laser turret.
Just need to get a good dice result here.
2 potentials. Oh, no, there was 1 and 2 focus, so there is a hit. And let's see. And the Inquisitor is all right with that. So he is down to 2 health. He's down to hull.
Down to a proton bomb crit away.
Yeah,
he's in a really bad spot for it, too.
Yeah. So it's
a 2 forward. That is a green maneuver.
That is, exactly. Now we'll see. I probably wouldn't action to get rid of the stabilizer. No, he is slamming.
Well, he can slam and then perform a free action. Now, does the advanced slam here?
Yeah, so this should be a Connor net. Yeah, this is definitely a net. lock in. So definitely be doing some damage to Omega Leader here. And now because he'll be flying through it, he will lose his ability to perform actions this turn. And he will be ionized for next turn.
So even in the style of how these bombs are going off is different from fighter to fighter because of their pilot skill ability.
It
so
is,
you have a wide range of how this takes effect.
And there is the Connor net going off.
Now the real question is whether or not Peter is going to be using Sabine's ability here.
And he does. So
does.
there is 2 points, the shield and 1 to the hull. And the Inquisitor. Oh, he is playing ballsy.
Yeah, he is going to be boosting.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. He's going to be boosting out of there.
Yeah.
If he doesn't, he's going to...
he might explode.
He's going to get a bomb in the face.
Oh, yes. Absolutely. And he needs to boost.
Yep.
He needs to get away from
Oh,
here.
for sure. So there's the barrel roll, and now here's the boost. Now, I don't know if that's going to complete it.
Yes, he will be able to land.
All right.
Oh, that's a close one. I would think he managed to get out of the range 1 of a potential bomb here. And so Peter just trying to kind of eyeball it. Yeah, I'd say the Inquisitor clears it. He's really hard to nail down with those. And Miranda winging around here. Take her focus token.
Definitely going to try to recharge those shields, I think.
Oh, for sure. And that is not good. The Inquisitor looks like he will clip the edge of Tuketu here. This is an important measurement.
Because Tuketu is on his last legs.
He is absolutely on his last legs. All right. It looks like he's in. Now, the Inquisitor, he should be able to kill Tuketu here without too much of a problem. And that'll put Peter in a bit of an awkward spot. Let's see.
I guess the real trick here is whether or not Miranda wants to just try to completely eliminate, not use her ability.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Looks like...
Just use the 3 attack dice.
Yep. And so there is no damage and... Well, 2 potentials. Let's see it. No damage.
Both hits would have had to land in order to deal with the Inquisitor this round.
Mm-hmm.
So I can understand why he didn't want to go in either direction to lose the shield or regain the shield with his twin laser turret proc.
Yeah.
But it is unfortunate that Tuketu is probably going to die now due to the Inquisitor being in range 1. Well, being in range 1 all the time, but...
It looks like he was out of... Oh, looks like the Inquisitor was out of arc.
Oh, okay.
Oh, they are doing dials, so... I thought he was in.
They might be calling a judge.
Ah. But, yeah, this is definitely... As we said before, this is a... No, they're going right to dials. So that would have been a big measurement. Tuketu in a bad way there.
All right, so what do you think is going to happen next turn then? While these people are setting dials, while Peter and Mathieu are setting dials, where do you think it's going to go? Okay, well, they set dials very quickly.
I think Tuketu's... Yeah, I think Tuketu's dropping a proton bomb as insurance and deterrent against basically against a chase from the Inquisitor. And then, okay, so he is moving fast, getting the heck out of there.
Now, that is a stressful maneuver for him, unfortunately.
It is. Due to the loose stabilizer, that will be a stressful maneuver.
There's the stress.
So just trying to clear as much as he can. The one forward that Omega Leader was obligated to do, however, looks like it will put him out of bomb range. And the Inquisitor's gonna have to keep doing his dance.
Oh yeah.
Just his range dance there. And Omega barrel rolling in, get himself a little closer to the action for the next few turns. And so let us see how this plays out.
Not where you want to be, Inquisitor.
No, nice cut, but as we've seen, the boost and barrel roll is, well, the boost in of itself is enough to clear him out of there. And the bomb goes off and does not quite clip him, just a hair's breadth out. If he had misjudged that by 1/8 of an inch, that would have been a Sabine Inquisitor, and he'd be gone.
Yeah, no kidding. So we have Miranda, Doni zooming around that asteroid in a pretty good spot.
Focused up. Now the Inquisitor, he'll have auto thrusters against all of these attacks. Should kill. And he is saving his Proton rockets for this turn. Just ramming them down the tailpipe of Tuketu.
There's nothing Tuketu can do. He is toast.
Take that confirmed kill. Gone.
Did not risk any kind of variance there.
No. Trust nothing to chance. And now he's, well, still kind of trusting to chance. He has to rely on his auto thrusters to carry him through Miranda's return fire. Well, he'll live. You can't kill him now. Cannot kill him this turn. And there's our focus. Oh, that's a point.
It's a point of damage there. That means that all he needs to do is either drop a bomb that lands or ping him once with the twin laser turret, and that would be dead Inquisitor, and Peter will go back into the lead.
And Miranda still has her Connor net. So that is a very large area behind that ship you don't want to get anywhere near.
Especially when you have something to
That
consider.
was a risky maneuver there.
That was a very risky maneuver.
Whoa. Yes. Paid off, but that was close.
The Inquisitor, I think, is in the school of maybe disengage. Doesn't look like he's fully disengaging, but definitely putting a little bit of distance, given the fact that the K-Wing doesn't have an amazing dial, and if he wants to slam, he's probably going to go through a rock.
And so Inquisitor just boosting up. Keep himself away from Miranda here.
All right, so definitely a disengage, and it looks like Miranda is given chase.
Yep. Strange thought, chasing K-Wing, but there it is. And now Peter will have 2 shots to try to kill the Inquisitor.
Looks like...
He's slamming closer. Now that is interesting. I did not expect. I guess just he wants to keep his lead as close as he can. Or keep his the chase as close as possible here.
Well, the TIE FO is in a really interesting spot too, in order to get turned around, and I think this is going to be a K-turn, S loop.
There it is.
And it is.
Nice 2S loop there. And just the beauty of the comms relay, retaining the evade token from previous turns.
Yeah, Omega Leader is a absolute beast at the end game, and that's where we're at right now. Inquisitor is also a beast at the end game, but on his last legs, with one hull, K-Wing given chase.
Yeah, the Inquisitor is focusing and pushing for an evade, or vice versa. End result, he is hyper defensive here. And Miranda winging up around beside him. And let's see what she decides to do for her action.
I think the best course of action would be to focus and then go for a 4 attack hit and just bank it all on the one hit rather than having to split your attacks. I mean, you're only wanting to get one through anyway, so I guess a 6 of one, half a dozen of the other.
Yeah. All it needs to do is land one on the Inquisitor. So she's going to take a target lock. All right, and let's see. So with Mathieu having the initiative here, he will be firing first. It looks like... so Omega Leader is in range 3.
Doesn't get anything, which is the best result you can get when it comes to the Omega Leader, because anything that hits is probably landing.
Yeah, there was no point in spending that target lock. And as we mentioned, Miranda taking a point to get that likely 4 primary attack, 4 dice primary turret attack, and there's the evade token, and time decides the game.
With auto thrusters and the tokens completely negating that attack, the Inquisitor lives,
with
game is over,
1 health.
and Mathieu wins with a lead of 14 points. That's right, it ends 50-36. What a game. What do you think, Matt?
That was a tight game. I was impressed by the flying from both players. Again, it's always good to see players from different areas, different metas, and just different play styles. You know, to what we're used to. I am very happy we managed to get this double K-wing on camera. When I saw Peter submit his list, I knew I wanted to get this on. I was very happy how the game turned out.
Oh yeah, and up until the very end, it was anybody's game. That last round completely decided the fate of who won, who was going to advance, who was going to stay middle of the table. But still, the MOV was really tight there. I'm a big fan of Peter's squadron. I really liked Sabine. Something that we didn't get to see a whole lot of in our videos up until now, because not a lot of people like using bombs. I like bombs, you like bombs, but a lot of other players don't, and it requires a lot of effort. Peter is a player that was willing to put in that effort, definitely used Sabine to a really great effect, and using things like Connernet and Proton bombs to just completely eliminate threats.
Yeah.
Now, with Mathieu, it's a tried and true method. Aces variants, obviously, with Ryad and the TIE Advanced Prototype. The Inquisitor is always a fan favorite, but with the TIE FL Omega Leader thrown into the mix, makes for a very, very frustrating squadron to deal with.
Well, especially Juke, Stealth Device, and a comms relay on Omega Leader. As we mentioned last week, we see Aces builds, but people put their own unique spin on it, and I really like Mathieu's. That TIE-FO, oh my, that is a really annoying fighter to try to kill.
Oh yes, absolutely. I am completely impressed with Peter's ability to just punk Ryad. I was hoping to see Ryad perform a little bit more, given how she played in our last game. New fan favorite for sure, especially considering she's in a nice red TIE Defender. But very impressive with Mathieu's flying. Tight game.
Yeah.
Mathieu does...
The Inquisitor carrying to the win.
Oh yes.
Well done.
For sure. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching Wookies on X-Wing. We have new videos out every Wednesday.
Yeah, be sure to like and subscribe, and if you like our stuff, hey, let us know in the comments, and if you have any suggestions, we're always open to them. And if you want to get a hold of us, John can let you know how to do that.
Well, if you want to be my friend on Twitter, be sure to follow me at Corhath, that's Corhath. However, we have a official Northern Gaming Network Twitter handle, and that's at NorthGameNet. You can also like us on Facebook to keep up with our most recent news.
And we'll see you guys next week.